All right, guys. So look. So this video is how Michael Jordan's son got away with sneaker fraud. If you guys don't know, Michael Jordan's son, what's his name? Fucking Marcus Jordan, owns a sneaker store called Trophy Room, bro. He owns a sneaker store, and it had its own freaking Jordan collab, of course. His dad's freaking Michael Jordan. They had a Trophy Room Jordan 1. And somehow, some way, I think like 80-90% of them shoes never ended up coming out and got backdoored. And Michael Jordan's son owns the fucking store. That's the only store that had them. So let's see what happened.
This was said to be one of the biggest Jordan releases of all time. The Air Jordan 1 Trophy Room.
Trophy Room Jordan 1's
The Trophy Room Air Jordan 1. Marcus Jordan's Trophy Room.
Jordan 1 Trophy Room. I got the Trophy Room Jordan 1.
A sneaker so legendary that people called it the Frozen in Time Chicago. But when the release day finally came, nobody could get a pair. And it's not because of bots or Nike's broken sneakers app, but because of Michael Jordan's own son.
Most useless Jordan 1s. You didn't like those? I actually liked them. They just went for so much goddamn money because they never came out.
Marcus Jordan. This is the story
Like they were
of how
supposed
Michael
to.
Jordan's son betrayed sneaker culture. And he almost got away with it. This is the Trophy Room scandal.
He did get away with it. He's still... But now just everybody knows he's cooked.
So, for those of you who don't know, Marcus Jordan is the second son of Michael Jordan. He played college basketball at UCF, but unlike his father, he never made it to the NBA. Marcus decided to carve his own lane in the sneaker world instead when he launched his boutique Trophy Room in 2016. And he launched this at almost the perfect time. You see, streetwear, sneakers, and hype culture was at an all-time high in 2016, and this couldn't have been any better of a time for Marcus to capitalize on this. And the name Trophy Room was inspired by his father Michael Jordan's Trophy Room collection at their own house. The store was pretty much a shrine to Michael Jordan's legendary career. But for Marcus, Trophy Room was supposed to be a bridge between his father's legacy and sneaker culture today. And Trophy Room wasn't just another regular sneaker boutique. It was an inclusive space.
Rami, what would you do if you was MJ's son? I don't know. I would just probably live off MJ's goddamn legacy forever. But this guy, goddamn Marcus Jordan, fucked it up. He goddamn got addicted to drugs. He goddamn, what else did he do? Started dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. Not do the shit he did. I just, try to just do what I could being Michael Jordan's son. He can probably be, if he was like locked in shape, he'd probably be in movies and shit, like play Michael Jordan in movies, but this fool don't even look, he looked like a goddamn bum, honestly.
That was positioned as a legendary project. And when it came to collaborations, Nike and Jordan Brand pretty much gave Marcus the access that nobody else had. And over the years, Trophy Room dropped some of the most limited and exclusive sneakers like the Trophy Room Air Jordan 16s, the Trophy Room Air Jordan 17s, and in my personal favorite, the Trophy Room Air Jordan 5s. Each pair was extremely hyped and very, very limited. And this wasn't just hype sneakers like Off-White or Travis Scott sneakers, this was Michael Jordan's legacy. And it was stamped with Michael Jordan's own DNA, his son. So I'm sure you can imagine that when the Trophy Room Air Jordan 1 was rumored, the sneaker community knew that this was going to be the most special one.
Yeah, bro. These joints was hyped up. Look, they're actually hard. How do y'all not like these, bro? It's like, they're actually really nice, bro.
The Trophy Room Air Jordan 1 was designed to look like the classic Chicago 1 Frozen in Time. Aged and frosted as if it had been pulled straight out of the 1985 All-Star Game. And for those of you who don't know, the Air Jordan 1 Chicago is the most iconic sneaker of all time in my opinion. And I actually have all three pairs myself. This is my most prized possession in my collection.
But
this was the sneaker that started it all for Michael Jordan. This was the first sneaker that Michael Jordan ever released after signing to Nike in 1985. Everyone from longtime sneakerheads to the casual sneaker collectors, everybody wanted this pair. But what nobody knew was that before the release date even arrived, the game had already been rigged. And in late 2020 and early 2021,
chat, sub up if y'all haven't. ASAP, sub up. Let's hit that 500 before February. Yes, sir, Mondo. Good looks, Mondo. Facts, y'all. Appreciate everybody that's just in here showing love in the chat, though, man. You guys are already just making my day just being in here.
Pictures started flooding.
You still watch Harrison Neville? I never really watched his videos, but shout out to Harrison.
One or two or maybe a couple pairs. They were showing off hundreds and thousands of pairs. And because of this, people started to get really worried because the Air Jordan 1 Trophy Room was only limited to 12,000 pairs worldwide, which, for example, an exclusive Travis Scott sneaker like this had over 150,000 pairs released, and the Air Jordan 1 Lost and Found had over 500,000 pairs released worldwide. So with these being extremely limited, people started to get worried. And Marcus Jordan himself had to come out on these interviews and on Twitter and say that, like, oh, those sneakers were fake. They were stolen from the Nike factory. Like, we haven't even got them yet. He was just making up multiple different excuses as to why these sneakers are out there. But he stated himself that he had not got his hands on.
Bree's live. She's about to play Fortnite. Really? All right, Adrian, go to Bree's stream. God damn it.
Any of these pairs yet, so they have to be fake. But most of these were selling on StockX, which had authentication. So who's to blame? Normally, when sneakers get backdoored, everybody keeps quiet. You don't flex the pairs, and you definitely don't flood the market before the official release drops, because it blows the whole cover. But this time, with one of the most iconic and exclusive sneakers in existence, resellers couldn't resist. They posted thousands and thousands of pairs of Air Jordan 1 trophy rooms stacked all the way to the ceiling. And people were legitimately bragging about these pairs that they locked in before they even came out. And that's when sneaker forums exploded and everybody knew something.
Yeah.
How could resellers have this many pairs months before they come out? And the answer was pointed directly at Marcus Jordan. And when it came time for this anticipated
Hold on, I'm trying not to pause it, but yeah, I'll just keep watching.
release
Sorry.
that everybody was super hyped up for, literally nobody got these pairs for retail. As a matter of fact, on the Trophy Room website, the only place that you could get in the raffle to get this pair of sneakers, you had to enter a raffle to get a chance at getting these.
Guys, when I tell y'all nobody got these, nobody got them. Marcus Jordan was in charge of every goddamn pair at that release. He owns that store. That was the only store that got them. And they never released. That fool backdoored every pair. I remember seeing a pair or a picture of Benjamin Kicks. You guys know Benjamin Kicks? That fool had like 500 pairs or some sick shit. I was like, bro, what the hell? Yo, Marcus Jordan was moving dumb, bro. Let's watch this video. Let's see if Chance Dubnik knows about Ben Kicks. Let's see if he mentions that.
But whenever people entered the raffle, sneakerheads were hit with this email that said that the inbox was full. Yes, for the most anticipated release of probably the decade, you're telling me the email address where you're supposed to submit your raffle entry for a chance to buy these
Jason in the chat, my dog. What's up with you, Jason?
sneakers was full. And we're talking about Trophy Room and Marcus Jordan, the son of Jordan Brand. And Jordan Brand gets millions of entries when it comes to these hype sneakers. So why is it different this time? On top of this, when it came to dropping on the Nike app, the sneakers app, they didn't release to the general public. They were only released via exclusive access to people that were located in certain areas, meaning that you had to live in a certain area for them to message
Appreciate the follow. What's up, Manny? What's up? What's up? What's up?
you at a chance to get these. But there was rumors that there was only about 200 pairs that were available on the Nike website. So what happened to the other 11,800 pairs? Well, this is when the allegations started flooding in. Marcus Jordan and Trophy Room backdoored the entire stock. Thousands and thousands of pairs straight to the hands of resellers.
Oh, there we go. There's the picture I'm talking about right there. Benjamin fucking Kicks. Yo, this guy had every pair. Bro, look at this shit.
And for retail buyer, entire stock. Thousands and thousands of pairs straight to the hands of resellers.
That fool Benjamin Kicks. I remember this picture, bro. This was known. I was like, bro, everybody's like, how the hell this fool get this many pairs, bro? It's not possible. It's literally not possible. Nobody was able to get these, bro. Unless you went straight to Marcus Jordan. He was getting them to everybody, bro.
And for retail buyers, the release was like a ghost drop. Nobody could even have a chance to get them. It basically never even happened. And after reviewing some forums and also interviews that I found, this is what some resellers allegedly are claiming, but that they got in contact with Marcus Jordan and they were assigned to fly to Miami with hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash. Yes, only cash. And they had to meet Marcus Jordan at a certain hotel, which I have seen pictures of people using the hotel cards to wheel hundreds of these.
Oh shit, they literally, hold on, they got footage of them. Wait, hold on.
Jordan at a certain hotel, cash, yes, Jordan, and they were assigned to fly to Miami with hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash, yes, only.
Wait.
They were sellers allegedly are.
Hold on.
And also interviews that I found. This is what some resellers allegedly are claiming, but that they got in contact with Marcus Jordan and they were assigned to fly to Miami with hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash, yes, only cash, and they had to meet Marcus Jordan at a certain hotel, which I have seen pictures of people using the hotel cards to wheel hundreds of these pairs, but basically they
Appreciate the follow. Hold on, let me pause this picture.
which I have seen pictures of people using the hotel.
Bro, all right. Oh my god, this is so crazy to me. Rami, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Bro, this is so crazy. Obviously, this happens all the time in the sneaker culture, sneaker game. Managers of the stores, people that have the power to do so, backdoor the pairs and sell them on their own and then make $1 on top of the retail, whatever it is. But Michael Jordan's son? Michael Jordan's fucking son? Michael Jordan's son, bro? Are you dead ass? Like, come on, you're Michael Jordan's son, bro. What the fuck are you doing? What do you need to link up with, bro? You're Michael Jordan's son, bro. And And then like on top of that, he's literally resellers, probably like regular resellers off Instagram. Maybe not just some random folks, but like regular people. He's talking to them, meet me at the hotel. Look at this picture. This is a crazy picture, bro. Like, what?
Hotel carts to wheel hundreds of these pairs, but basically they flew to Miami with hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash, and they
Isn't Michael Jordan a billionaire? Yes, but his son, I believe, allegedly was a drug addict, and he just fumbled the biggest bag in history, being Michael Jordan's son. Like, bro could have been a fucking actor. Now that I think about it, like, you could have been playing Michael Jordan in movie, like in some, bro. If they ever do a movie about Michael Jordan, they're never getting Marcus Jordan. Where you see like Ice Cube, remember Ice Cube? They did, what was it, NWA? They got his son. His son's a good actor now, doing his thing, just following his dad's footsteps. Bro, Marcus Jordan should have done the same shit. This fool became a drug addict, started dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. If y'all don't know about that, shit's crazy, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Gave it to Marcus Jordan, and then when they got home, hundreds of boxes from Nike began showing up at their house. And they were the official boxes from Nike. Like, it was like a big box with like 20 pairs of little shoe boxes inside. And allegedly, this one reseller claimed that he paid around $1,400 per pair, which I want to address this. A lot of people think that these resellers were getting them for retail, and that's just not true. You see, at the time, these sneakers were reselling for $1,800 to around $2,200, and the retail on these were $190. And Marcus Jordan didn't make the whole $190 per pair when he was selling them. Let's say he made $190 per pair, which is not true, but let's just use that for an example. If he sold all 12,000 pairs, that'd be a little over $2 million. But selling them for around $1,400 per pair would get him around $16 to $17 million. Now, like I said, this is just hypothetical, and I use these numbers just so it's a little bit easier to explain. And resellers would buy these for $1,400 and then sell them for $8.
Let me read my chat. Hold on. What'd you say, Yakub? Ask your pops for some bread, bro. I'm dead. Hey, but I'm gonna be honest. Like, if I had to guess, Michael Jordan probably ain't giving bro bread, because Michael Jordan. Hey, I don't know. I obviously, like, what the fuck am I speaking on this situation for? I have no clue. But it came out like he was a drug addict. Like, those pictures of him like snorting some shit that came out. So you think Michael Jordan's still like, yeah, son, here's $100K. Go do your thing, son. Go. Nah. If my son, goddamn, if I'm rich, and my son, I'm gonna be honest, if I'm rich, if I get filthy rich, I still ain't spoiling my kid. Because I know what spoiling a kid will do. That's gonna make a kid like that. I'm gonna be honest. Like, you feel me? You gotta, like, yeah, bro. Nothing should be fucking spoon-fed, bro. You gotta make somebody work for everything. But this fool probably has never had to work for nothing in his life, bro. And he thought shit was gonna be sweet. I don't know. Maybe I'm bugging.
$1,800 or $2,000 a pair. And when you're buying hundreds, if not thousands of pairs, that money adds up quick. And Marcus Jordan ends up making like $10 million or some crazy number. Opposed to him making less than a quarter of that if he released them regularly like all the other Jordan drops. And what made this scandal the absolute worst was the timing. You see, in 2020 and 2021, Nike and Jordan brand,
you're not rich or having kids, bro? Oh my god.
and we're going to extreme lengths to fight bots and resellers. They introduced raffles to pretty much all of their sneaker releases. They had sneakers app updates pretty much every week to fight against resellers. They had anti-bot technology that they worked on every single month. You couldn't even have more than one Nike account or your account would be at risk of being banned, because if you got your hands on more than one pair, they would block your account. And this was all in the name of giving real customers a fair shot at buying these for retail. But Michael Jordan's own son went against everything that the brand stood for. It wasn't bots, it wasn't hackers, it wasn't random warehouse leaks. It was a man with the family name, allegedly selling thousands of these pairs to resellers behind closed doors. And he would have never been caught if it wasn't for the resellers flexing these pairs online. Because with only 12,000 pairs dropping, you wouldn't be too surprised if you didn't get a chance to get them. But that raises the bigger question. How many times has this happened before without us knowing? How many releases were already decided before they hit the sneakers app, or the Off-White website, or the Travis Scott website? When the backlash hit, Marcus went on multiple podcasts and interviews to try to clear his name and deny all these allegations. And this was after the drop, when we saw him for the first time in interviews. He claimed that the early pairs floating around were stolen from the Nike website, or stolen from trains, or that they were just flat out fake and he had no idea. He brushed off all the allegations and called them pretty much conspiracies. On Twitter, he snapped back at sneakerheads saying, "Y'all are so annoying with this. It's all cap." But literally nobody was buying it.
Nah, Marcus Jordan was everything that was said about this shit was true. This fool was a sicko. Oh, are these the texts of Benjamin Kicks? Wait, that's crazy. Are those pictures of Benjamin Kicks meeting up with him? I think so, because these texts say Benjamin Kicks. Damn, that's crazy if it is. I don't know, though.
And you can even see in some of these podcast clips, the people interviewing him don't believe it, and neither did the rest of the world. The pictures were undeniable, and the resellers admitted themselves that they paid Marcus Jordan in person with this cash. The fact that nobody could touch a pair for retail told the story better than Marcus ever could. The Trophy Room Jordan 1 soon became one of the most infamous sneakers in hype culture history, and the resale prices at the time were over $2,000 to $3,000. But the sneaker itself wasn't remembered just for its design, but for the corruption that happened around this release. And Marcus Jordan's reputation in the sneaker culture was permanently damaged. Even today, years later, when Trophy Room is ever mentioned, sneakerheads bring up this whole backdoor scandal, and they say that it was one of the biggest betrayals in...
Rami, did you buy shoes from him? Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I would have for sure linked up with him. If he hit me up, if Marcus Jordan hit me up, bro, like, come buy the shoes, I got you for whatever price, bro, I'd have done it. What am I doing wrong? The resellers ain't doing nothing wrong. Hey, hold on, chat. Let's talk about something. The resellers are not doing nothing wrong. It's Marcus Jordan. If the fucking manager of the store is offering you shoes for a price, you're not doing nothing wrong. It's on him. This guy is the fucking dumbass. This guy's the money hungry guy that wants more money than what he's supposed to be getting. Michael Jordan literally already gave this guy a fucking store. Damn, I didn't even realize this. This guy literally has a whole store. Trophy Room is a Jordan store. It's a sub-brand of Jordan, if I'm correct. I don't know. Either it's a sneaker store. This guy has a whole store because of his dad. And then got his own sneaker collab and was not happy with that. He wanted to go sell the shoes himself and make an extra whatever, few hundred on each pair. This guy's a sicko, bro. The type of thing Rami would do is crazy, bro. What the hell? Is Trophy Room still a store? Let's see, actually. Trophy Room. Is it? Trophy Room. Jordan. No, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. They still got the 5. Remember the 5s came out? Oh, actually, yes! The one lows just came out recently, so it has to be. It has to be, but I don't know where the fucking store is, honestly. I think it's in New York or Chicago, one of those cities. I don't know.
In all of sneaker culture history, the day that sneaker culture realized that there was corruption. And this corruption wasn't just in the hands of bots or resellers, this corruption was happening from the very top. Because the biggest backdoor in sneaker history did not come from thieves or bots, it came from the man who built sneaker culture himself's son. And if resellers didn't ruin this by pictures online, we may have never known. And that pretty much wraps up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This one was a good one. I've really been wanting to do this story for like a little while. And some of this stuff, I feel like people in the sneaker world...
Hey, man. Well, shout out Chance Dubnick, man.